Hello everyone, we are doing a tier list today. Let me start that over. Hey everyone, it is Locomocha here, and today for the 10-year anniversary, or the day after, kind of depending on if I can get this done in time, we are doing a tier list for all of the main FNAF games in the series, starting from FNAF 1 all the way down to Help 1 and 2. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into this. I'm just going to make a couple points of each game, kind of why I think they deserve to be in which tier. And I'm also going to say what character is my favorite from each installment. So to start with FNAF 1, we are going to go ahead and put that in the A tier. Obviously, it is the very first game. It's the one that started it all, so it definitely has a good nostalgia value to it. But aside from that, the jump scares are actually very good. They are genuinely wonderful, and the atmosphere and sound design still hold up to this day. The story up to this point is very clean and simple, easy to follow, and it also was kind of the start of the whole mascot horror genre. It started a new kind of survival horror where you are stuck and you cannot escape. You have only a few things to really defend yourself, but you have to wait it out. You cannot leave. And at the time, that was very unheard of. Overall, I really love FNAF 1. I think it is a wonderful game, very nostalgic. And my absolute favorite character, obviously you all know, it is Foxy. Unless this is your first video, then you don't know, Foxy is my favorite. He is the best boy. FNAF 2, I apologize. I very much apologize for this. I'm putting this into C tier. I wanted to put it in the B tier because it is a very good game, but there's a couple things with it that I'm like, I do really like the designs overall of all the animatronics and the office and the pizzeria itself. It's not nearly as claustrophobic as the first game was, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the creep factor isn't entirely there. It's there, but it's different. I don't know how to explain it. It's too clean, I guess. I think FNAF 2 is too clean. Aside from the wizards, obviously. The wizards are amazing. And I also really love Mangle. The other toy animatronics, they're fine. They're not my favorite, but they're not bad by any means. The mechanics of the game are also pretty chaotic and a little complicated. The hype around FNAF 2 was absolutely insane whenever it did come out though, so I can't just completely shit on this game. And it did do quite a bit as well, forward a series to kind of push it into the right direction, and the fact that it's a prequel to FNAF 1 also threw everybody in for a loop. I really wish I could put it in the B tier, but we're going to stick with C tier for right now. And my favorite from FNAF 2 is the puppet! Although I do really like Wither, Foxy, and Mangle, but the puppet is my favorite. FNAF 3. Now, again, I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this. I really like FNAF 3. I'm putting that in the B tier. I actually really enjoy the office and the atmosphere of FNAF 3, of the Fazbear Frights place. I think with it being so dark and gritty and just nasty and green, really fits with the whole theming, along with, hey, yeah, this is really disgusting here, but also Springtrap is a disgusting person. It fits with Springtrap as a character and as his physical appearance. It all just kind of works well together. He can blend into all of the cameras a little bit easier, so it makes it a bit more of a challenge to try to go and find him in the cameras. I will agree that phantoms are a bit annoying and the Springtrap jump scares really suck. Something that I do like about FNAF 3 though is Night 1, which gets you used to the mechanics and the environment itself. It's also the first game to actually put multiple layers in the map. So you have the cameras for the normal building itself, and then you also have the cameras for the vents. And you have to go back and forth between them to kind of see where Springtrap is. And I think that is a very unique and really cool feature to have. And Night 1 kind of gets you used to seeing that. Oh, this is definitely different. It was also the first game to have hidden little mini games. As I don't remember FNAF 2 having these hidden mini games, but these are ones that you have to actually go and find in the environment itself. And it also expands on the lore of the killer / purple guy. I love FNAF 3. I think it's really fun. I understand there's not a whole lot of love for it. I understand there's some things wrong with it, but I personally love it. I think it's really fun. Obviously, Springtrap is my absolute favorite from FNAF 3. I love him. I love him very much. He's so cool. Moving on to FNAF 4, I am also going to put that in the B tier. Oh, but part of me really wants to put it in A tier. Oh, what do I want to do with this? I think I'm gonna put it in the A tier. It is not perfect, but it is still very good, and I'm honestly putting it there for the story for the most part. It is definitely one of the scariest FNAF games, not just in the designs of the nightmares, but also just the environment that we are in, the fact that we are, at least theoretically, playing as a child. It showed us more of Fazbear's past, and like one of the most critical points of the company's history. But also, there's the theory that there's like the nightmare gas going on in FNAF 4. And something about that just feels weird. I don't know how I feel about there being genuine nightmare gas, with how genuinely scary it is and how it is difficult. It is a very good challenge as well. I'm having second thoughts here again. Okay, you're gonna hate me. I'm gonna put it in B. That's my final answer. Final answer is B. I would put it in a low A tier or high B. Yeah, we're gonna put high B, low A, something like that. And then my personal favorite from FNAF 4 is a tie between Nightmare Foxy and Nightmare On. Now we go on to FNAF World, and I feel like I have to put it into C tier. Like, critically, I have to put it into C tier. So the reason why I put it into C tier is because this is not my type of game. I do not typically play RPG or grind games like that. It's just not my cup of tea. I find it pretty boring personally. If you like those kinds of games, by all means, go for it. The closest I have ever gotten to actually liking an RPG game like this was Wizard 101 when I was very young. But even then, I didn't really like playing all the monsters. I would very much avoid any of the battles unless it was part of a mission that I needed to do. However, aside from it not being my cup of tea, the designs of the adventures are cute. A couple of them are a little weird. I'm not gonna lie, a couple of them are weird, but for the most part, they're adorable. And it can be a bit of an eyesore, I won't lie on that. Some of the like flashing colors and flashing lights are just too much to really bear. But I genuinely believe that FNAF World is a center point to the entirety of Fazbear Entertainment as like a company and to the story of Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't have a favorite in FNAF World because they're chibi animatronics. There's no like real new character aside from some of the little like, what are they called? Like little bites, I think. But FNAF World does have a special place in my heart because of this huge ass theory. I've learned to love FNAF World. It is fun, but yeah, it's just not my style of game. And then we have Sister Location, and I'm gonna put that in. Part of me really wants to put it in C tier, but I think I have to put it in the B tier for a couple reasons. First of all, I wanted to put it into C tier because I have a grudge against this game. I have not been able to beat Night 4 ever. No matter how many times I try to play this game, I cannot beat Night 4. It is way too hard. I don't know how anybody can do it. I was even playing it after the patch where it made it a lot easier. No, it did not. I can get through the rest of the game without dying once. But as soon as I get to Night 4, it goes right out the window. It is gone. It's not necessarily like a scary game or anything. But the first time through, whenever you go into it blind, if you don't know what's going on, then it can definitely be very nerve-wracking. It was also the first game where we actually go to multiple locations, not in the same room like in FNAF 4, but genuinely different rooms. And that was really cool. It's not necessarily like a free roaming game, but it was like, hey, we've got more stuff that we can do. And I feel like because it diverted so much from the typical FNAF playbook and everything, it makes it stand out. Not just because the story is absolutely insane and we're still talking about it to this day and it still is very prevalent, but this is definitely a huge standout in the series. It also threw the series into a more sci-fi realm when it had normally been mostly a ghost story until then, like a tragic ghost story. My personal favorite in Sister Location is Ennard. I think he is the coolest motherfucker. I think he should have been used a lot more because he shows up in this game and then he never pops up again. He shows up a little bit in Help Wanted, but it's not really there. But yeah, Sister Location is a solid B. Now let's move on to Freddy Fazbear. Let's move on to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. This one is an S tier game. Not only are the secrets and the lore from this game absolute gold, so is the gameplay and the true ending to it, and the damn speech that Henry gives at the end. Oh my god. There are some obvious like downfalls to this game, but I don't think they are so detrimental that this game cannot be an S tier, at least for me personally. I love all of the mini games, from the toys and the rides that you're able to buy and put into your pizzeria. I also really love simulation games as a whole, and so this game is completely up my alley with the whole pizzeria aspect. That's one of the main reasons why I go and play this over and over and over, because I want to do the pizzeria in so many different ways. But the fact that this was supposedly supposed to be the end of Five Nights at Freddy's, it's supposed to be the final game, at least, you know, for the time being. Obviously, that's not the case. But this was a very solid end, at least to the first arc of the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. It gave us a lot of answers to questions that we had about the lore, but not enough to completely solve everything, which I like. And I think that is a completely fine way to end a series. I will say, the jump scares are not that great. I will agree on that. They're subpar. But I don't think that is enough to put that any lower, just because I love this game so much. My favorite from Pizzeria Simulator is Lefty, although Helpy is a second, like very close second. I love Helpy so much. He's adorable. I always feel bad whenever I'm doing the ball pit game and he accidentally breaks his back. Let's move on to UCN, Ultimate Custom Night. Now, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I have to put in the D. There is no F tier because I don't think any of these games are necessarily bad. But I find Ultimate Custom Night to be really, really boring. I understand that it's supposed to just be like an epilogue to the main like storyline and everything, at least up to that point, and that it is supposedly William's purgatory, which that I find very intriguing. I think that is really cool. It could be like, here is this evil soul that's now trapped forever, dealing with everything that he put his victims through. But as far as like the gameplay goes, it's kind of boring, and I understand it's just supposed to be like, here's like a challenge and everything, which the ultimate challenge of the 50-20 mode still holds up, and I still think only like a handful of people have actually beaten it. I also am still confused personally on the whole schoolgirl Chica and the anime Freddy and Foxy samurai thingy. Some people think that's supposed to be like the battle between Henry and William for like the Freddy and Foxy one. I don't remember what schoolgirl Chica was supposed to be about. Like, was it supposed to be like William like kidnapping the kid or gaslighting his victims or something? I don't know anymore. The voice acting is very fun though. I think the voice acting in that game was a good choice, because that did give us a little bit of lore implications. It's like with Chica saying like, I was the first, I have seen everything, be like, oh, also Mr. Hippo was great. I don't care what anybody says, Mr. Hippo is wonderful. It is very unscary though, I'm going to say, and the jump scares are not great, but that is understandable because of how many characters there are. You can't really spend too much time doing a different animation for all of them. You gotta kind of make it basic. You can't like log down the game because of how many jump scares there are. I don't have a favorite in this game either, because this one is also just a huge roster of characters. It's not even absolutely everybody, it's just bleh. Now let's tackle the second arc of Five Nights at Freddy's, this new like sci-fi, more like techie kind of arc, like the modern era basically. Special Delivery is going straight into D tier. There were some things about it that were very fun. I did like all of the little emails that they would send out. I think those were really fun. Gave a little bit of backstory to Vanessa. Special Delivery is a very weird one in that it is part of the like timeline and everything, but it's not significant. There really, like, it kind of happened and nothing came from it. It also felt more like a cash grab, which, I mean, considering Fazbear Entertainment is also a cash grab company, is kind of in theme, but it felt icky. I don't know. All the skins also suck. I'm sorry, I'm not a huge fan of like Easter Bonnie or Chocolate Bonnie or the freaking Liberty Chica. That was awful. There are a couple skins that I like though. I really like Toxic Springtrap. I like the Clown Springtrap. My absolute favorite though is Ringmaster Foxy. Like that, like as far as like the characters in that game, like skins and stuff goes, Ringmaster Foxy is my absolute favorite. I think that is the coolest design ever, and the Dark Circus DLC in general, very, very fun. I didn't get to finish it, but I did get to play like a good chunk of it, and it was very fun. So unfortunately, Dark Circus DLC does not keep it from being in the D tier. I'm sorry, just overall that game was difficult. It just doesn't vibe, it's meh. But now we're getting to all the good stuff again. Help Wanted is going to be I'm gonna put that in the A tier. Even though I haven't played every single little game in there, because I am a wimp. I am a huge wimp. I did get to play a good chunk of Help Wanted, and it is so much fun. Whenever I say that like Help Wanted or Help Wanted 2 is like one of my favorite FNAF games, I've had a couple people be like, oh, that's cheating. And no, it's not. Because here's the thing that you don't realize. When you put that VR headset on, you are basically transported into this world, and you are immersed in it. It is much more real than you realize, and it is terrifying, and everything is like to scale. So you see just how massive everybody is. And that I feel like makes it even scarier. And that's part of Help Wanted 2 as well. But all the new minigames they came out with for Help Wanted were so much fun. I personally very much enjoy the parts and service games. I like being up and close with the animatronics and fixing them up and cleaning them and just kind of seeing them. So there's something so interesting about being up close with the animatronics. And I freaking love it. And I love Glitch Trap. Glitch Trap is my favorite character in the game. I love him. I think he's cool. I think he could have been utilized a lot more. I feel like he could have been a really, really good villain if he was actually utilized better. Then we have the DLC, The Curse of Dreadbear, which that one just because I am a wimp and I have not played every single game, I'm just gonna put it in B, even though I feel like it's good enough to be in the A tier. I feel like I'm gonna put this at a high B as well. I am a big wimp when it comes to actually playing horror games. I kind of suck, even I'll like push through it, but I suck at it. Not only that, the mini games were very fun. From what I did play, I played Foxy Pirate Adventure, whatever that one is, very fun. I loved that. I actually found all the secrets in that game on accident. I think I hit like one of the helpies and I didn't realize I did, and my cart went to a whole new path and I'm like, what's going on? This wasn't what I saw earlier. Because I think I had watched Markiplier play and he didn't get any of the secrets. I think I tried a little bit of the Dreadbear minigame, but I don't remember it super well if I did. Like I know what it is and everything. And that was pretty fun too. Overall though, my favorite from the DLC is Grim Foxy. I think he is one of the coolest designs. He is badass. He's so badass. I love all like the sights on like his back and everything. And now we've got Security Breach. I think I'm gonna have to put this in the B tier as well. I'm gonna put it probably right there, probably like right in the middle. I love Security Breach so damn much. I really, really do. It's very fun. I love the Pizzaplex. I love the characters. I love so much about Security Breach. I wish the Pizzaplex was real so that I could actually go to it and explore and everything. It is one of the coolest places that we have ever seen in the series. However, there's a few things wrong with it. It is not exactly scary. It is tense, and it does get really scary at some points. I'm looking at you, Endo Maze. Overall, it's not really all that scary. It's just more tense than anything. The story is, it's a story, all right. There's not a good start or end to it, and there's also just way too much running around in the middle where we don't know what to do. Like, you're kind of guided on a couple things, like, oh, you have to do this and this and this, but there's no real direction in the game. It kind of feels unfinished because of that. We all know, like, there was so much that happened with the production of that and the release and all the patches afterwards and stuff. We know all of the drama behind Security Breach. Overall, I think it's still a very fun experience. I feel like if it was fine-tuned a lot more, then it could have been better. The Scott interview with Doco that just came out, the new one, he even said, I was like, hey, I gave them kind of like plot points without explaining too much of the lore, and they just kind of went wild with it. And he's like, oh, I should have given more direction. So it's not really like Steel Wool's fault. I'm not even gonna blame Scott for that because he didn't think that was gonna happen. But even with all like the flaws of Security Breach, I think it's still a very fun game. I still think it's very endearing. I like that it's a bit free roam, that you can like go and explore the place. And my favorite characters, yes, characters from Security Breach, are Roxy and the DCA, the daycare attendant. I love Sun and Moon. I love them so much. I love Roxy. She is a queen. Those are my babies. I love them so much. And speaking of loving characters and games and stuff, we've got Ruin, which is also going to go in the S tier for me. Oh my god, I actually am going to have to put this like top favorite, to be completely honest. Ruin is my game. Let me say that. As far as FNAF goes, if I were to like tie myself to any one of these games, it would have to be Ruin for so many different reasons. So the story itself, we're going to start there. Absolutely wonderful. It is easy to follow. It's still got like that mystery to it, but it is genuinely a very wonderful and interesting story to follow. It has a beginning, middle, and end. With Ruin, it's very direct and you have a set path to follow. With that, there is a little bit of exploration as well, because there are secrets and there are hidden games and everything that you can go and play. All three endings are really plausible, except for maybe the Brazil ending. I'm pretty positive that one is not canon. Also, this game, I didn't think that a Five Nights at Freddy's game was going to make me break down as hard as Ruin did. Roxy has been like my favorite glam rock since before Security Breach even came out. When all of like the teasers and stuff were coming out for like just like the promo art and everything, I was automatically like, okay, whichever this one is, this one's gonna be my favorite. I can already tell. I don't know why I stuck around with her so much, but I did. She's always been my favorite, even with her being a bit of a diva. And Ruin just kind of proved my point that there is more to Roxy than just a cold, narcissistic character. No, she has so much more to her. Having to go and deactivate her was so hard. I did not want to do that. And afterwards, finding out that there was a theory about her being Foxy, like in the past, just made me hurt even more. I've actually had people tell me like, oh, this is the most dramatic, insane like reaction to having to kill Roxy ever. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm sorry. I am very emotional. There's only one part of Ruin that I do not like. Like, I like it, but I don't like it. And that is Bonnie Bowl. Bonnie Bowl took the absolute longest to figure out, first of all. And it also just drives me up the edge. I don't like the mini Music Man. Those things are creepy as shit. I hate them, and they're all over the place. I don't like them. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. Even now, it is hard to get through that area because I hate them so much. But I like Bonnie Bowl because if you can get to the Glamrock Bonnie Easter egg, then it is a very, very cool area, and I love it. And aside from this me fangirling over Ruin constantly, there is some genuine representation in Ruin that kind of goes over everybody's head. Because whether these are just allegories, whether they are legit like canon and everything, there is representation in these characters. Roxy is at the very least an allegory and a metaphor for trans people. Like, I am 100% onto that. Eclipse is autistic. Sun and Moon are autistic. I'm pretty sure Cassie is also autistic. And then we also get confirmation of Glamrock Freddy and Glamrock Bonnie being a couple. Like, I'm sorry, there's no other way you can interpret that poster. My favorites in Ruin are almost everybody. I'm gonna stick with DCA and Roxy and also Glamrock Bonnie as a bonus. I cannot pick because I love them all so much. I think they are all so cool. I really want to see more of Glamrock Bonnie so bad. Last but not least, we have Help Wanted 2. And this is also going to go in the S tier for me. I'm sorry. The dislocation stuff was making me shake in my spot because I was so scared. And that is specifically Ballora Gallery. I had decided that I was going to record that session without talking, being quiet, or as quiet as I could be, and just focusing on the game. Once I was able to actually get into the minigame and see what I had to do, Oh my god, I was terrified. That was genuinely the most terrified I'd ever been in a video game. And the twist in the middle where you have to take the vanity mask off. I did not do it where everybody else does it in that room with the Princess Quest arcade machine. I did it in the middle of the lobby because whenever I had pulled down the vanity mask inhibitor, I did not realize that I had to take the mask off in that moment. I only realized it because I was standing at the menu for the minigames and I was adjusting my headset and I see something blue and I'm like, oh my god, what is that? And I take it off and I'm like, holy shit. And I see the dilapidated pizzeria or pizza place. I start freaking out. Like that, I think, was a much better reveal, doing it in the middle of the pizza place rather than in the closet. All of the minigames are so much fun, getting to be up close and personal with some of my absolute favorites from the game, like Sun or Moon or Roxy, even like Glamrock Freddy or God, Circus Baby coming at you, and her little mini game was absolutely terrifying to see how massive she is. Very similar with Ruin, both endings are very plausible to be canon. There's like a theory that it's actually both of them, like both endings are correct in like different ways or whatever, but who knows for sure. It was a very good challenge, but it wasn't like ridiculously hard or anything. I just, honestly, I'm very proud of myself for getting through the entire game and 100%ing that game. I didn't think I was gonna be able to 100% it, but I did. That is just one of my absolute favorite games. I think the twist in it and the story is just phenomenal. And as far as a favorite character goes, I cannot pick just one. There are just so many really, really cool characters. I don't really care much for Carney. He's really cool, but he's not like my favorite. And that, everybody, is my tier list. Thank you so much for watching this video and just hearing me vent on and on about all of these stupid ass games that I love so much. And apparently you guys love so much too. Happy 10-year anniversary, Five Nights at Freddy's. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Steel Wolf. Thank you, everybody who has ever worked on the game, the voice actors, all the other studios, anybody who has ever touched the series. Thank you so much for giving us such a wonderful experience, such a wonderful series to really like dive into. I can't wait to see what the next 10 years brings for FNAF. God, who knows if it's going to go on for another 10 years. It wouldn't surprise me at this point. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All of the links to my socials are in the description below. Join the Discord if you would like to keep up to date on videos and projects and all kinds of other stuff. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.